Do you want to take your garden up a notch, or have you just moved and you're effectively going to garden someone else's garden? Or perhaps your life has changed. Maybe you actually have a bit more time to spend in the garden and can make it as beautiful as you've always wanted it to be, or the other way round, you need to make it an awful lot easier to deal with. Well, you need some professional help, and this video is going to tell you how you get it. It's Alexandra from the Middle Size Garden YouTube channel, bringing you garden tips, ideas and inspiration from real gardens for your garden. Now, Emma Daniell has a lovely garden. It's a long, narrow town garden, and she would just like to know how to make the best of it. She's not actually a fantastically keen or experienced gardener, so she needs quite simple, easy to carry out advice which still looks stunning. And so I'm asking Posy Gentles, garden maker, to do a garden appraisal, to go through it and to explain to Emma what she needs to do and how she needs to do it.
Emma, what do you like in your garden?
What do I like in my garden? Well, I love the walnut tree, but of course that does have pros and cons to it because of the shade, and so that's what I don't like, is that I have to really work with shade, and of course its roots and what the roots do. I like my pots, which I know,
Yes.
you know, I like my pots, and I like my hydrangea, and the hellebores.
Hellebores.
Yeah. So I like the pots down by the shed, so that area towards the garden room is fine, because that's hydrangea and shed, and that's fine.
So it's more this area up by the house?
It's this area and that sunny bed there.
So what do you want to achieve in this bed? Do you want to sort of
Just
sit
colour.
near it? Or
I
do you want
do.
it to be all year round because you see it from the kitchen?
Not particularly all year round, but I'd like it to be pretty in the summer because we do a lot of summer entertaining out here. So I just like it to be pretty and colourful.
Other questions that you may be asked in a garden appraisal include, what do you mainly use your garden for? I mean, do you want to look at it from the house, entertain in it? Is it used for family play? You'll be asked what colours you like and what plants you don't like or like. And the gardener will walk around your garden with you so you can point out what works for you and what doesn't. You can do this at any time of year. This is in January, when the beds are relatively bare and you can see the bones of the garden. Posy usually makes some initial suggestions at this first consultation. For example, Emma has one sunny bed, but it's got shade-loving plants in it, such as hellebores and fuchsias. Posy suggested that she moves the hellebores to the shadier parts of the garden, rather than disposing of them or throwing them away. There's also a gap on one side where Emma's removed a tree, and Posy suggested that she train a climbing rose, which had been looking rather miserable, into the gap where it will enjoy more sun. And for the bed by the kitchen window, where Emma wants colour but which is rather shady, Posy has suggested moving the fuchsias into it and maybe getting some more. So getting an expert to appraise your garden and make suggestions isn't all about buying more plants and spending more money, it's also about making what you've got work harder. So what's the cost of getting your garden appraised in this way? Well, you do need to pay properly for it because you need an experienced professional. This isn't for a horticultural trainee. So if you're in Britain, think maybe £25 to £40 an hour, and expect to pay for at least 3 to 4 hours, depending on the size of your garden and how much you want to change. You should probably expect to pay for an initial visit if it includes verbal recommendations. A written report, plant lists and sourcing things also takes time, so remember that the final bill will include several hours spent doing that if it's part of what you've asked for. And how do you find the right person? Well, it helps to ask around locally. Not only will you pay fewer travel costs, but you'll also find someone who understands your soil and your climate. Ask local gardening clubs, horticultural societies, garden centres, nurseries, and any grand professional gardens near you. Chat to the person recommended on the phone and ask about their style and check their website, and also ask if there are previous clients you can visit or talk to. So do subscribe to the Middle Size Garden YouTube channel. There's a link in the description below and a link to Posy Gentles Garden Maker. And if there's any particular kind of garden issues or garden problems or gardens that you'd like to see on the channel, please tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, and I hope to hear from you. Thanks. Bye.